Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about the pick for stores picking functionality in Peoplevox and on what order profile it is most suitable to be used. So I'm at the moment in the Actions tab of the Peoplevox web application, where I can create some new pick lists. So in Actions, I'm going to go to Add. I'm going to select Pick for Stores from the list. I'm going to go Next, and I'm going to get a list of all the orders in the system that I can pick at the moment. So at this point, I need to filter the list by an appropriate set of filters that will pull out just the orders I want to pick with this pick for stores picking method. So I've actually got one pre-created here as a save search, which I can run and easily pull out my two transfer orders, one for 136 items and one for 147 items. So in terms of the profile of orders that's most suitable to be picked with pick for stores, this would be large orders, so certainly tens of items, possibly hundreds or thousands of items, and also orders with a lot of SKU crossover. So we're really looking for order profiles where SKU A exists on many of the orders that I would put into this into that pick for stores pick. So I'm going to select both of my orders, and I'm going to go next and finally define some additional parameters against these pick lists I'm going to create. So it's asking me how many orders I want to pick per batch. Well, I've got two orders, so I'm going to pick two orders at a time. Probably this will be anything up to maybe 10 or 20 orders. If you had hundreds of orders in the system, we probably want to break it down and pick them into batches of orders, because there's only so many orders that we're able to handle at a time, as we'll see later on in the demonstration. So we can release it to individual user roles, set completion deadlines as the same options we would get on the other pick methods as well. So if I click go, the system is going to go away and create a pick for stores pick. And that then is going to drop down to my Android app and be visible within the pick for stores section on the pick transaction. So pick list has come through. You can see here it's mirroring those two parameters that we saw on the previous screen. So we're picking two orders, and there's 283 items to pick in total. I'm going to go into this pick list, and it's going to first list all the places I'm going to visit in the warehouse to pick this batch. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to run through the warehouse in order. This is the same as other picking methods. The idea of this screen is we can start at the top of the list, and the system will push us through each of the different bin locations we need to visit in the right order. But we can also start from further down this list if we want. So if you saw that aisle A had a forklift down it, we might want to say, well, actually, I'm going to start with aisle B. So I'm just going to start at the top of the list and be first prompted now to pick the first item on this pick list. So I need to go to this 22.p.a.01.01. That's the bin location I'm going to visit. I need to get this shirt dress, and I need to get 34 of them. So at this point, I could scan the barcode of the product and it would add it into the pick. I'm just going to use the magnifying glass to do the same thing. And it's then going to count me down until I've picked all of those items that are expected. So I can increase the quantity by ideally scanning the barcode of each item that we're taking, but I can also use the plus and minus to set the quantity. I can type into this field, which is what I'm going to do in this case. And we've also got the option, as in other screens, of using the unit type functionality. So the ability to say this item is available as a box of 20 and then move a quantity of boxes. This could be particularly useful with this workflow because we're more likely to be dealing with larger quantities of stock. And if you did have the composite barcode functionality that combine these two bits of information, the SKU and the quantity, then that's something that's supported here as well. So I'm going to pick 34 of these items. And the slight difference with this pick method versus other pick methods is I am not being asked to define where I'm picking this item at this stage. So I'm going to pick my 34. And then I'm going to be presented with a separate screen where it's asking me to allocate those 34 units to a few different orders. So I've got to put 23 of them in one tote or one carton or one pallet for this TO transfer order ending in 29. And I've got to put 11 of them in another carton pallet container for this transfer order ending in 30. So we would utilize our container or license plate functionality to assign a bin location effectively to probably packaging that we're going to ship to. So let's imagine a pallet. We put a barcode on the outside of our pallet. We're going to scan that pallet, and it's going to link that pallet with this sales order, transfer order in this case. And then going to scan another pallet to link the other order with a different pallet number. So at this point here, I'm basically saying, right, I'm picking 34 of these items. I've put 23 into this tote, and I'm putting 11 into this tote. At that point, I would click finish, and it would then tell me to go and get the next item on the pick list. So I'd be sent to another bin location to get more of a different product. As we get pushed through to this screen after we pick that item, the system will remember these bin locations. So it will remember CON21 or remember CON22. So the idea is it's telling me that for this item, I then need to put more of the quantity into CON21, quantity into CON22. So we're basically instructing you to first pick a quantity and then allocate it to different containers for different orders. We can, as part of the picking additional items, we can actually change the pallet. So if we filled the first pallet and we wanted to start picking into a new pallet, I can actually drop that out, scan a new pallet, and then the system will remember that from then on. The other option we have is to pick everything for each order into one license plate, a pallet, or it could even be a virtual 4-space bin, and then have a separate step after picking where we basically said, right, I've got all these items for this particular order, and then use the repack functionality to basically move the items from the license plate that we originally picked to into separate pallets or cartons that we were actually going to end up shipping in. I'm not actually going to proceed further with this because I want to retain these orders so I can showcase some other ways of picking large orders with Peoplevox.